I'm Dave Cathey, the Food Dude, and I'm here today to share with you a little bit about a recent trip I took to Wynnewood. That's where, more than 30 years ago, the Pennsylvania Dutch family called Buechner bought an acreage to raise horses. They called it NoName Ranch, thanks to the counterintuitive spelling of their last name. What started as horses with some mule training added a little bit of cattle raising, but today it has completely evolved. Now Bruce Buechner and his family focus solely on raising Pinzgauer cattle. Chosen for their quality, the Buechners have Oklahoma's only Pinzgauer ranch. Known for their auburn color, Pinzgauer cattle is noted for leanness and great flavor. The Buechners raise theirs on unfertilized prairie hay and spring water before supplementing them with an all-natural grain diet for best flavor. NoName beef was introduced to local chef Kurt Fleischfresser back in 2001. He has since helped introduce NoName beef to Oklahoma City, serving it on all his menus. Today, NoName beef is served at Vast in the Devon Tower and used exclusively for the burgers at Irma's Burger Shack. Recently, I sat down with Buechner and Fleischfresser to discuss their relationship and why NoName remains the chef's beef of choice.
We both went to OSU for the Beef 101, where they take a semester course and cram it into a 3-day weekend. Mm-hmm. And you look at live steers, you you go through the processing, and you get the factual information and everything. And there was kind of a speak up at one point where you introduce yourself and you say what you do. And Bruce got up and started talking about what he does, and Bruce has a little bit of passion in about what he does. So once he got wound up and we had a minute, and I said, I need to talk to you. So we went over and introduced myself, and I think you like what I said about the restaurants too.
Yeah. What attracted you, Bruce?
Well, we had never thought we would ever be involved with restaurants. That really wasn't our situation. But Kurt had information on the type of cattle we have, which are very rare. They're on the extinction list, Pinzgauer cattle. Mm-hmm. And the exciting part was that he had read some articles about them in chef magazines, and it worked out really super. We got together, and
you guys interviewed us. We didn't get together. I said, I'll buy some of your beef. He goes, wait a second. You're going to have to come over to the house, and we're going to cook some for you first. And do you remember that?
Well, you came to our place.
Yeah, we came to your place.
We came to our place.
And then you came to our place.
Yeah, and we came to your place.
Now, had you ever been through a interview process in order
I never
to
have.
give somebody your money?
I've worked with so many local people and got to know them and everything, but I've never been interviewed to find out if I could purchase the beef.
We just hit it off together. It was I think, and we hit it off with Jane, and Joan got along good together. It was a wonderful situation, and so we started. And the only hitch that we had was the fact that we would only sell them whole steers.
That's what was going to be.
Well, and it wasn't really a hitch though, because the apprenticeship program at the Coach House, it was a great opportunity actually. Mm-hmm, yeah. So, this is kind of when the nose to tail stuff's going on and everything, and so we actually developed. I developed the sheet, so we got the whole steer in, broken down into primal cuts, and then the guys would break them out into steaks and everything else. But in order to know what to charge and everything else, we had to figure out how much each component was.
So yeah, it ended up being sort of a godsend.
It was a real educational deal, and really, if we didn't do that, we wouldn't have Irma's, because we were buying whole steers. Well, you get on a steer, you get about 8 nice fillets, and you get about 350 pounds of hamburger. So our coffers in the hamburger were getting a little bit bursting at the seams, and that space became available. There used to be docks. And Chris and I said, maybe we should open a burger place. We were actually using it at the Coach House, the Metro, and Deep Fork, or was it?
Deep Fork.
Deep Fork, okay.
Yeah,
That's exactly right.
But still, it was hard to keep up with the amount of ground beef.
Yeah, because none of those places are like burger
places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we opened Irma's pretty much around the beef, and then naturally went with the hand cut fries and handmade onion rings and everything, kind of made from scratch. And Linda Lee perfect,
Perfect
operating
fit,
partner. I mean, and it wound up working out really well.
We strive at the ranch to do whatever he needs to have done through the people that work for him, and we try to cut things right. We're associated with a plant that's local in processing, and they're a ranch cut place. They're not a cookie cutter place.
Right.
So you get beef as beef should be, as the rancher gets it. And
Right.
My whole deal is, I don't want people coming from Kansas City, Chicago to New York to eat stuff that they sent
Yeah.
from there that we're going to refix them.
New
I want
York
stuff
beef,
that
you
we
want it to be
fix here.
Oklahoma.
I mean, and like Bruce said, I mean, it's raised here, it's processed here, the feed comes from here.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get more local than that.
That's right,
And
no.
we try to go, as we've been doing that for a long time, but
There's other beef to choose from.
And there is, yeah.
So what makes it? Is it all of it, or is there one specific thing? Or?
Well, I mean, as far as his, I mean, I hear people say, "Oh my God, that beef is so juicy," or "It's so tender," or whatever. But not many people say it's beefy, and I like the flavor of beef, and I miss the flavor of beef. And that's the one thing about the Pinzgauer and Bruce's cattle is it has great flavor.
the key thing too is we don't use any steroids, no hormones, no antibiotics, no pesticides,
Right.
no coloring, no preservatives, no lactic acid washes, which most people have to go through to. It is pure.
Pure product.
product.
And I know that appeals to you. The idea of
Oh,
a
yeah.
pure product, a pure ingredient.
Well, and as a chef, and we've known each other for a long time too. I mean, I eat pretty good. I mean, I eat good food. It's kind of my deal, and I love to eat decadent stuff and everything else, but I don't like to eat over-processed stuff. So it fit right in my wheel well.
For more information about No Name Ranch, go online to www.nonameranch.net to sample some, make a reservation at Vast, or drop by Irma's Burger Shack.